So I'm a used car dealer, and right now, even $2,500 cars are not selling on my lot. And for you, that means prices are going to come down. And on a lot of these cars that you see behind me, we've marked them down $500, $1,000, and we still can't get them to move. Some of them we've even got to the point where we're breaking even and they still won't sell. It's been so slow for us lately that I haven't bought a single car in 2 weeks. Yeah, check this out. So all these cars up here are for sale, and down here where we park our cars for recon, ghost town, right? All our cars are ready up there because we've actually had time to get them ready. We haven't been turning and burning, and it's a good thing right now, but I mean, I would rather see way more cars down here than I would up here, because this right here means I'm not selling anything. But even with all of this going on, I don't want you to buy a car from me right now. In fact, I don't want you to buy a car from any car dealer right now, because I believe it's going to get much, much worse for us. And later on in this video, I'll actually show you what I paid for a lot of these cars that I have sitting out here. So it's been crazy how quickly that this car market has changed, especially for me as a small used car dealer, sell cars that are $5,000 and under. We would turn and burn, turn and burn, turn and burn. Just 3-4 months ago, you can see this clip right here. I had almost no cars on my lot left to sell, and that was right after tax time. And now look, we have a lot full of cars.
How in the hell are y'all buying these new trucks? We went shopping the other weekend, and the salesman tried to open his door, and I caught a glimpse of the sticker. I said, what the f*** does that say? I slammed the door back shut, $92,000. I said, what in the hell? He said, what are you looking for? I said, I'm looking for wherever the hell you lost your damn mind. I'm leaving. I drive a 2011. It's got AC and shit. It leaks some oil, but all good trucks do. He said, were you wanting to trade that truck in? I said, I bet you'd like that. Hell no. I said, me and paid for are going to keep on keeping on, big dog. Because that can never be me, $100,000 truck.
All right, there's a lot to talk about on this. The car market is an absolute, you know what. It's ready to go off the other side of this cliff. And as you can see, the car numbers aren't lying. It's a bubble ready to burst. I was looking at a car dealership the other day, and a truck like mine was almost $80,000. That is absolutely crazy. To put this in context, I paid $67,000 for this house. Back in the old days, you could buy a house for $50,000 here in Pensacola. Now they're $300,000. But yet, we're still doing this with cars. Cars, the worst thing you could ever buy financially, and it literally loses 20% before it gets to the stop sign. We're financing these. So let's get down to it. Let's watch these videos. Some of these are absolutely nuts. Let's go.
Vacation for a week. Talked to my brother. He said, hey, we sold the Infiniti today. I'm like, great, that car needed to go. And I get back, and it's still here. So we didn't sell it. The lady that called on it called all the way from Hawaii. It's a 2021 Infiniti QX50. It's got like 90,000 miles, 95,000 miles. I've marked it down on the internet all the way to $16,500. It's so cheap, a lady that can't even drive it to where she is living called us on it. Can't even get to her. I'm probably going to have to mark it down again. It's still here. It's going to hit 90 days here probably in the next week or so. And it has got to go. Right now it is rough. I mean, we can't give anything away.
Unbelievable. Hello and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be talking about cars. Cars are not selling. Okay, it doesn't matter how much they lower down the prices, they are not selling. And we're going to talk about all the details of what is happening right now in the car dealerships, in the car industry. And it's a personal experience that I have. There's someone that I know that I own a dealership, and how he is doing at this moment. Please stay towards the end because this video is going to be really interesting. And please drop a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Help us to support liberal media. Help us to support my channel. And yes, I am part of the liberal media, but also this is a channel that is that can be used by conservative too, because it's just so I go to the facts. Okay, I just don't make my own opinion. Of course, I just give opinions on the videos, but I just try to do it with facts. Okay, so stay towards the end. Bye.
Why don't car companies just make a basic car with a manual transmission and roll-up windows and no touchscreen and none of that stuff? Because nobody would buy it. No, really, nobody would buy it. You could price it at $15,000 new, have one trim level, it's 15 grand, and nobody would buy it. Now, nobody might be a little bit harsh. I'm sure there's going to be a small fraction of the population that's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. See, cars are very, very much an emotional decision. It's very much a keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing. As much as everybody hates to admit it, that's what it is. Everybody wants the latest and greatest. Everybody wants the new technology. And again, everybody might be a little bit of a stretch of that term. Not everybody does. But new car buyers do. But if cars were purely a logical decision and not an emotional one, we would all be driving base model, white, 1995 Toyota Camrys. As always, fight about it in the comments and follow me for more content like this at Spittin' Bars Selling Cars.
There are more unsold cars sitting on dealer lots than at any point in modern history. And the numbers are so catastrophic that industry insiders are calling it the Great Automotive Reset. We're not talking about a few extra cars here and there. We're talking about 4.2 million vehicles, enough cars to fill every parking space in Manhattan 47 times over. These aren't just sitting for a few weeks. The average days on lot has exploded to 127 days, with some vehicles approaching 300 days without a single serious buyer. Every single day, dealers are hemorrhaging money on floor plan interest. Here's the brutal math. A $35,000 vehicle costs dealers approximately $47 daily in interest charges. Multiply that by millions of vehicles, and you're looking at over $200 million bleeding from dealer bank accounts every single day. A Ford dealer in Texas told me yesterday his nightmare story. I've got 247 vehicles on my lot right now. My daily floor plan interest is $11,639. That's $347,000 per month just to store cars nobody wants. I haven't made a profit in 8 months, and my credit line is maxed out. But it gets worse. Dealers are so desperate they're offering incentives that would have been unthinkable 2 years ago. We're seeing $15,000 off MSRP, 0% financing for 84 months, and lease deals that lose money on every transaction. And customers are still walking away. The inventory crisis isn't just hurting dealers. It's creating a cascade of failures throughout the entire automotive ecosystem. Auto transport companies are going bankrupt because there's no inventory to move. Detail shops are closing because cars aren't selling fast enough to need prep work. Even car washes are reporting 30% drops in revenue. An auto auction manager in California told me this week, we used to move 2,000 vehicles per week through our facility. Last week we moved 340. Dealers aren't buying because they can't sell what they already have. The entire wholesale market has frozen solid. Manufacturing plants are shutting down production lines. GM just announced temporary closures at 6 facilities. Ford is cutting shifts at 4 plants. Stellantis is offering buyouts to 33,000 workers. The industry is contracting faster than anyone anticipated. But here's what's really shocking. It's not just economy cars sitting unsold.
What happens when a car just doesn't sell? Someone asked me that, and there's lots of answers to that question if it's new versus used, but let's just talk about new cars. So when a new car just never sells, which hasn't been a problem in the last few years because of the car shortage, but there has been times where it was. And it's most likely a car that is like something we have a ton of, Sentras, Altimas. There's a few things that we could do. One is put them into loaner car service, meaning our service department obviously services about 1,600 people a month, and sometimes people need a car to drive if their car is going to be in the shop for more than a day or so. So like these 2 cars are good examples. We probably had multiple Altimas in that color. They were probably over 300 days on the lot. Sentra as well. They're not the hottest selling car. So what happens is we put them into loaner service. The good thing about that is when it comes out of loaner service, we could sell it as a pre-owned car, and it's automatically qualified as a certified pre-owned. It gets extra rebates, some other benefits as well. And then on new cars, sometimes we'll sell them to rental car companies, or we just wait it out and they eventually do sell.
But I mean a couple. No one's actually buying these Dodge Charger EVs, and they're sitting at the lot, and they have been. They come out, no one ever bought them, and they're not going to because they don't want one. No one does. Overpriced junk, and they're super unreliable. If you look up the Dodge Charger EV, you're going to see complete bricks. breaking down on the side of the road with the few hundred people who bought them. Now let's go over to Genesis. Believe it or not, they have a vehicle that they cannot sell. It is called the G90. It is a $100,000, or I should say over $100,000 luxury sedan that is insanely priced. Over $100,000 for a Genesis. It loses so much money so quickly, most people are saying no. Yes, you can get a big discount on one, but still, they can't sell it. It's been sitting at the local dealership in my area for nearly a year. They can't sell it. And this vehicle's luxury with all the features, you already know it's going to go into service nonstop. And to think about spending $100,000 on a Genesis, people simply are saying no. Just like another Jeep product that cannot sell.
Did you guys hear what's happening to car dealerships around America? Well, I hope you guys understand that many people bought their vehicles at a time when vehicles were at an all-time high. These same people who can't afford their mortgages, can't afford their rents, have let these vehicles return to the banks, causing a bottleneck at the dealerships. They have vehicles from 2023, brand new vehicles that they cannot sell. They have 2024s that they cannot sell. And then they have 2025s coming in right now that the dealerships cannot sell. And these sticker prices on these vehicles are still $50,000 to $80,000. It's so bad to the point where at the auctions where dealers get their vehicles, no one is buying them. Lots are full and no one is buying new cars in America. What does that mean? Well, you will see layoffs at the factories. You will also see a huge slash in the price of MRSP on these vehicles very, very soon. They have to get these cars off their lot. But the sad thing is, Americans still cannot afford these vehicles. Inflation is ravishing this country. I'm out.
And they try to lower the prices as the lowest that they can, and they still cannot sell cars. Because people that have a car that is working, they are not renewing their cars. They are just leaving it in the way it is. People doesn't want to buy any new cars. The people they need to buy cars, they definitely do something else for they don't buy cars. And this is what's happening right now. Less opportunities for people that want to buy a cars. The price, even when the prices are coming down, but people doesn't want to buy cars. It is no an item of necessity for so many people. If you just have a car that is working properly, and even when it's older, you just try to keep it and work with a car that you have. Yes, it's just people is feeling like we are going to start a recession, and people can feel it, so they just don't want to get any new debts.
The warning signs in the auto industry are impossible to ignore. Across America, new vehicles are piling up on dealer lots with no buyers in sight, some sitting unsold for more than a full year. We're witnessing a perfect storm that's leaving dealerships desperate and manufacturers panicking as inventory levels reach crisis proportions. The culprits? Skyrocketing prices that have pushed the average new car transaction beyond $50,000. Punishing interest rates that add hundreds to monthly payments. Insurance premiums climbing faster than inflation. And most importantly, consumers who are finally saying enough to an industry that seems determined to price them out of the market. Today we're exposing the 14 car models that dealers absolutely cannot sell. Vehicles with inventory levels exceeding 6 months, some approaching a full year of supply. Using the latest CarEdge market day supply data, we'll show you exactly which models are gathering dust on dealer lots and why consumers are walking away from these once desirable vehicles. This isn't just about cars sitting unsold, it's about a fundamental disconnect between what the auto industry is offering and what Americans can actually afford. And the implications for manufacturers, the economy, and your next vehicle purchase are profound. What's truly shocking about these unsold vehicles isn't just their growing numbers, it's what they reveal about the auto industry's fatal miscalculations. These aren't random models struggling to find buyers. They represent specific market segments and corporate strategies that are spectacularly failing in today's economic climate. The most alarming pattern? Electric vehicles that manufacturers poured billions into developing are now sitting unsold for hundreds of days, with depreciation rates so severe that some lose half their value within the first year. This EV reality check is sending shockwaves through boardrooms from Detroit to Tokyo. Even more concerning, luxury brands that once commanded wait lists and premium prices are now watching inventory pile up as affluent buyers become increasingly selective. Some high-end European models are sitting on lots for over a year, forcing dealers to offer unprecedented discounts that would have been unthinkable just 2 years ago. But perhaps most revealing is which vehicles are selling and how their success exposes the growing divide between industry expectations and market realities. While overpriced EVs and luxury vehicles languish, certain models offering genuine value and reliability are flying off lots, sometimes with wait lists, despite the overall market slowdown. 14. Infiniti QX55 188 days supply. Infiniti launched the QX55 hoping to capitalize on the coupe SUV trend pioneered by BMW and Mercedes, but in 2025, this model is proving increasingly difficult to move off dealer lots. With 188 days of inventory, more than 6 months of supply, dealers are growing increasingly concerned. The QX55's fundamental problem is that it's built on aging architecture. Sharing its platform with the QX50 that dates back to 2019, the QX55 feels a generation behind competitors like the BMW X4 and Mercedes GLC Coupe, both of which have received more recent updates with cutting-edge technology. Under the hood, the QX55's variable compression turbo engine sounds innovative on paper, but real-world performance has disappointed many buyers.
Or nobody wants it, and that's why the dealership's having the discount. I mean, look, what dealership wants to do this? And this shows the price is wrong to begin with. $48,000 from 63, 2025 Dodge Charger. Of course they're going to have to discount it because, I mean, think about that. A fake exhaust sound EV. Look at that, $10,000 off. That's the only way. And then we got $100,000 Jeeps. Literally, I'm not even joking. Look at this, 100. Can you guys see that? Let me get the phone read. $101,000 from 106. So the actual MSRP is 106 for a Wrangler. Like, whoa, wait a minute. This is a $100,000 Wrangler? Yes, it actually exists. And here you go. It doesn't even make sense. You think you're just making, I mean, what world are we living in where this is a reality? You know what I mean? But this is the truth. And look at this, $84,000. Look at the payment, $1,355 for 84 months. Think about financing $1,385 for 84 months. Let's look at this payment because what is it? Over $1,600? I mean, some people's mortgage payment on a Jeep Wrangler. I mean, look at this, 16, do the math on that one. 1,639 times 84, you know? That's robbery on a Wrangler. It's a complete mess what's going on. They have vehicles that have been on the lot.
More and more cars are piling up at dealerships because dealers refuse to lower prices, even though cars are not selling. The price of cars has barely budged. At about $44,000 on average, new cars are only about 3% cheaper than they were at this time last year. Keep in mind that before the lockdown at the end of 2019, it cost around $34,000 to buy a new car. So the price of a new car has jumped by more than 30% in the time in between. Even though the Fed cut interest rates recently, that has not yet translated to cheaper car payments for people buying a new car yet. In fact, last month, the average new car payment got slightly more expensive, costing $734 a month. One more thing to add is that when people are going to the dealership, increasingly they are leasing instead of buying. Leases actually accounted for 25% of all car sales in the third quarter of this year. The bottom line is that the market is unaffordable still, and cars are not going to get moving until prices start moving
downwards. As always, for more interesting and informative stories on tech, business, the economy, and jobs, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel here and on Instagram and YouTube.
And we just made it towards the end of this video. And yes, and I wanted to tell you a personal experience. I have a friend that he have a dealership. And he always, like, he did pay for like a year and a half for his daughter to go to Canada in like student exchange or something. He paid for that. He paid the college for her daughter, and they are well off. They are well off. And the daughter is she just dating this guy, and they want to get married. And when I asked them, oh, are you just gonna be that traditional dad that paid for the wedding for his daughter? And he was like, no, I'm not planning. Well, actually it was she and him, because both of them were together. We are not planning to pay the wedding for the kid, for the daughter. We are not planning to pay for that wedding. We are not going to spend our money like that. We just and I just noticed that they just like that they feel the situation, like when you just feel the energy of people that they have like a tight financial situation. It felt like that when they told me, we are not planning to pay for the wedding. And then his family, because they had 9 kids, his family is like they are like 200 people, you know, with all the uncles and nieces and nephews and all these things. They are like 200 people. So we just don't want to and they are like truly, they are like, they have only like 2 daughters, and one of the daughters is just small. It's like a year and a half old, and it's just them because they don't have any family here in the United States. So he was telling me, and we're just 2 people. So imagine that I had to pay all this much money for that wedding, and I had to pay food for 200 people. But I felt like he was just saying it for a place that he was just like financially tight, that he wasn't making as much money as he used to. Yes, he have a house that he rent. He have other business, okay? He just diversify his business, and he have like few different sources of money. But still, I felt like you know, the car industry is not doing, selling cars as of right now is not doing that good. So I just wanted to prepare this video, and I just immediately went to TikTok, and I looked for if the cars were selling, and then I noticed they are not selling. And I like, wow, this is what happening in their house. That's what he was like, oh, I just don't gonna pay for her wedding or anything that had to do with her wedding. She's gonna have to do her own. And she and the daughter wanted to go to Paris, like for study abroad again, like for a year or something. And he was like, oh, she's gonna have to go work for it, because I just don't gonna pay it. And I was surprised, because she was, the daughter was, for many years she was the only daughter, until they just finally have, like a couple years ago, they finally have a baby. So they spoil her a lot, but they just didn't want it to pay anything else for her. And I just believe it's because of the car situation. So he's not selling as much cars as he used to. Well, please make sure that you're giving a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel to grow, and it helps other people to find my content and my video. Thank you.